Tom, what does the movement in Bitcoin say to you? So we're at 91,000. What is that? What is that a signal or a sign of anything in this sort of analysis?
Stupid Fed.
Yeah.
It's not cutting.
Yeah, Bitcoin's down roughly 15% from its highs, which for a hyper-volatile asset is a pretty normal correction, and it is slightly following global liquidity, but we're pretty early in this halving cycle. So to me, I think Bitcoin in the near term, again, our technicians think 70,000 is where we can sort of make a stand. It means you're getting a big opportunity because I think Bitcoin's going to be one of the best performing assets.
So hold on, but you still think it goes all the way down to 70,000, or you think that's the floor, in which case you would still buy at this price?
Yeah, so there's Fibonacci's. So one level would be 70.
Let's say that again?
There's retracement levels. So you pull back from where you rally.
Right.
So 70 is one level. It could go to as low as the 50s. But that's, again, not a new level. It's just where it touches and before it begins to rally.
Okay, let me ask you two questions. For those folks who are watching who are not in Bitcoin or thinking about buying Bitcoin at these prices, are you saying that this is a fair and good price to get in, or are you saying wait because you think it's going farther down?
You know, Bitcoin is something you need to be long-term focused. I don't think anyone's going to lose money buying here at 90. If they're trying to time this, maybe they'll get lucky and it goes to 70. But to me, Bitcoin could be significantly higher this year. You know, maybe 200, 250. So I think 90 is still a good entry point.
A goddamn echo, eh? Just it's like the bane of my existence. A goddamn echo. This is what I'm worried about. Cut to the chase here. Right here. Oh, you can't see this. MACD. Now, I talked about this back in the summer bummer when we were chop sueying into oblivion and everyone was losing their mind, including myself. But this MACD bearish cross, well, she ain't pretty. And it usually signifies the end of the bull run. If we were to go back to, now that's not exactly true. So for instance, we did have a bearish cross during the summer bummer. And we did end up doing nothing for 7 months. Now, I can't see that possibly happening with this first quarter volatility. I expect to see, if we see any upside, I know it sounds weird, but you know, when we get layers of this gray blanket of depressed market and sentiment, we start thinking the worst, right? It's like human nature. But we did get that bearish cross right here in April, right? And then we had the summer bummer for basically till November. That's a long time. You know, so we went right through October. I mean, that's a big gain right here, 55 to 70. Actually, it's not that big. We're still range bound in there. But I wanted to go back to why I'm worried about this signal is that we go back to the old bull run of yesteryear, 2021. And you can see we had two bearish crosses of the MACD, one at a top, right? And we had our, whatever that was, I'm still not sure. Was this the ultimate in market manipulation? And was it just a screwed up market? I don't know. We like to say that. I think when we say 2021 something was wrong with it, it makes us feel better about the huge volatility. And then we had a little bit of a peak. You can see we have some negative divergence, lower highs here. And then we crossed bearish again. And that was essentially all she wrote for 2021. So it's just a metric to keep our peepers on moving forward, because she ain't pretty. She just looks that way. And she's heading there. So here's the bad news. If we have a continued sell-off, you know, let's say down to, or if we go over to the 4-hour chart, we've crossed into this channel of eternal monotony, which we don't spend a lot of time in. If we come all the way back here, we just kind of rip through it. Let's see, can we fit this nicely here? We rip through it back here in November, right? This is November 11th. Basically a week and a half, we ripped through it. We haven't really seen it. We tested a bunch of times. Bonk, 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 bonk. But it's held. It's held all this time. We did break through. Now, yesterday or Friday, I think, I was saying that which once wicked We'll get candlestick. Those darn tootin' little brats. This wick here has been plaguing us ever since. This, do you remember this day? What it was like this December 5th. It was, they called it the Darth Vaul day. Is that right? Darth Vaul? I don't know. I'm not a Star Wars guy. I'm no Star Wars geek or dark or whatever. But we did have this, and it's been plaguing me ever since because it was Terror Rooster who sent me a DM on Friday saying that he did the numbers on the candlestick wick thing, and he said that it's like 78% accurate every time to candlestick a wick. It's like its own form of the CME gap, you know, even though they run independent of everything else. So we said that we could see a little pump up, which we did. We got up to 96, and kaboomski come all the way down, which we did. Now I would say continued pressure to wick this 88.8. And the significance of 88.8 is the price action stalled on my Safari. Hold on a second here. Is it not moving? Refresh. There we go. Yeah, I knew it was a little too good to be true up there at 91.5. Anyway, we come down. 88.8 is that Asian superstitious number of good luck, right? So you have a billion people waiting to ape in. And I actually think that, you know, this is me being heartbreakingly optimistic, is that I do believe that the Asian market will dictate this bull run to a certain degree because it's falling apart, and so you'll have the economic rats leaving the ship, getting out of the everything bubble is bursting there. So I think they will find a safe haven in Bitcoin once regulations, etc., get even more lax over there. And so at 88.8, you could see a billion people start rocking into Bitcoin, which could kick it off. At that point, there are some other bearish metrics to factor in. We have this mother of all head and shoulders here. I mean, it's always a head and shoulders, eh? Well, that's because at the end of every head and shoulders is usually a bear flag as well. So this is an erratic little bear flag. Although, you could say that this little... We just put in a new bear flag. It's too bad that video had that echo. It was regretting it. What the hell? It was when I put my camera in. I had to see me in the video. I just couldn't have the video on its own, right? So it was my own selfish ego that screwed up that video. So let's see. We take the poll. You slide it all to the breakout point. Then we're all at 82, 82.4. 82.4. That would what would be the overall decline from 82.4? We'll go right from the wick. Right from the wick, that's about 23%. Yeah, it's still not the worst, considering we had 30% sell-offs last bull run. Aplenty. It was like so many sell-offs at 30%. We became like old veterans sitting there with bombs going off, like, and smoking and drinking. It's like, oh yeah, the bombs are getting closer. But now we're a little more fragile in this bull market. We're a little more skeptic of it because the one thing that I don't like is this concept of the market wants to take as few people with it as possible when it goes up or down, right? So now the concept of max pain is interesting in a bull run because what that means is that it's going to wreck. At what point does it wreck the most people? And so if we were to go, now I'm getting heartbreakingly bearish, how many round trippers would be caught in this bull trap, I guess? I hate that word, bull trap, bear trap. Right? But how many round trippers, at what point do you, maybe you can put it in the comment section, at what point do you become a round tripper? Because what's going to happen is that people are going to be holding out as the price goes down. Let's just say it goes to 82K. Everyone's going to be holding, right? I mean, most of us, I will. I mean, I'm going to be a round tripper anyway, right? So I'm just saying if retail, the Nubesk retail tries to, they're the ones that would probably sell off out of panic, but they won't really move. They won't, there's no retail to really speak of anyway. So at what point do you get caught in the round trip? Because that's at 82K, let's say it breaks 82K, goes down to the 70s. Well, at that point, do you just, are you round tripping, or are you going to risk selling? Because so for instance, get this smaller here. At 70K, wick to 70K. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. It's 35%. So that's kind of a normal pullback in a bull market. However, it's not normal in this bull market. So Carl Elder says, always a round tripper. Once a round tripper, always a round tripper. Next bull run is my major X. I would like to take some profits this go around, but if it doesn't happen, I'll just wait another 4 years. Yeah. As much as I like to say it was quick bear market, it wasn't. It was long. It was cold. It was hard. So 35% drop off to 70K, which is, that's the shit or get off the pot moment, right? So if you don't, at that point, people are still, going back into historical data and saying, well, we bounced back from here last time 6 times. So we'll bounce back again. And if it goes down farther than 70K, I guess you're a round tripper. However, this 70K point, so this would be a round trip from this big presidential run up, right? So if we come back to, where's that, 75, and 75 is a key factor. We'll take a look on the weekly again. 75 would be a round trip of these gains. It's not crazy to round trip a massive fundamental driven pump, right? Because it's basically taking the fear and greed of this and the psychology of the market and these fundamentals, and going up, right? It's not really an ape in dog pile FOMO. It's just fundamentals pushing. It's tailwinds pushing the price up. So we have to look at that at this point. 84.4. This is where this whole thing breaks down and things get a little doom and gloomy. More than it is now, you can imagine. So, I'm a round tripper anyway, because I also have the plan for Carl Elder, that 4-year plan, 2028. That would be probably, however, this is what I always factor in, the relativity of inflation and price action, right? So let's say things get worse for the economy, which they will, because going to hurt C and 8 to start the process again. Sneaky Pete Vapor. I must come in on that comment a little late. If the economy gets worse, which it will, because it's programmed to just get worse and steal all your money. The relativity of the price action, let's say it goes up to 800,000. Well, yeah. Is 800,000 the new 100,000, today? In 4 years, it's hard to say. Like, inflation's such a crazy thing because it's such a fudge number, right? So, for instance, we have inflation coming out on Wednesday. The CPI I don't care report is coming, and to me, it's all these numbers are fudged in order to, what is that saying? Show me the incentive, and I'll show you the outcome, right? So it's like if the Fed wants to do something coming up, well, they're going to fudge the numbers so it gives them an excuse too. Now, however, if inflation comes in way too high, I think that's going to be the final bearish nail in the coffin for this pullback, right? Because that will destroy the quant bot robots coming in to be like, oh, inflation's too high. They're never going to cut. No rate cuts, blah, blah, blah. So to me, rate cuts or no rate cuts. Bitcoin's gonna do its thing. Obviously, it falls prey to the macro, and liquidity overall in general. So if we don't have rate cuts, that sentiment is going to pull the price down even more. But maybe between that, the CPI report coming out, like here's my question: does anyone think inflation's come down? In fact, I'd be surprised if anyone, even wealthy people who don't give a shit, right? They would say everything's gone up because they're hypersensitive to the things that they're buying, right? So, normal people are hypersensitive to the things that we're buying, for instance, food, or for instance, going out to a restaurant. I don't even go out to restaurants anymore because a couple of reasons. One, I don't eat that food anymore, but I would rather have, so the price of an expensive ribeye, right? An expensive ribeye, 1.5 inch thick, is about $23 to $26, depending on my gumshoe bargain hunting ability. In a pinch, it's upwards of 30, right? Okay, upwards of 30 for a big, juicy 1.5 inch ribeye that gives you everything you need in a whole day. Now that's on par with a burger and fries at a restaurant. That's okay. I mean, it's okay. So now, in a weird way, eating that way, I didn't start eating the carnivore diet from a financial aspect because at the time it was kind of more expensive to just eat ribeyes, right? 3 times a day, but you can't eat 3 ribeyes. You probably could, but no. Anyway, it's come down. Inflation has gone up. Like recreational eating, going to a restaurant is more than just eating a massive ribeye steak, which is crazy. So the next thing to go up is probably the meat, right? Because they don't want you eating meat. They don't want any more testosterone in the market. That would make people fight back and want to do things against this system. Now, we said that 75 was an important metric. This is the 78.6% fib on the weekly. So we do have bearish crabs. Carl Elder, thank you for the super chat. He says, hit the likes, people. Hit it all day long. Hit the likes when you listen to this song. Well, got a little self-indulgent there. Thank you for the super chat, Carl. Much appreciated. So another metric to keep your peepers on is that we've broken out of this bull flag. This is normal because guess where it went to? Oh my Lord, the 38.2%. Who would have thought? Who would have thought it would hit a Fibonacci retracement? Did you see in the video early? Well, it was echoed, right? But it said we hit a Fibonacci, and they're like, whoa, what's that? What's a Fibonacci? It's amazing that these anchor people who just basically read scripts, they wouldn't understand what he meant when he said Fibonacci. We're talking about people that do this for a living every day of their life. They're talking about economics and finances, and he says Fibonacci, and like, whoa, egghead. What is a Fibonacci? Then he had to dumb it down. Well, it's, we retrace from pumps. Morning, Randy Hipper. Welcome to the stream. So this is we went to test it, couple of wicks, got the pump we needed. Now we've broken down. This is 2 red candles in a row. Well, no, we haven't minted it. This is this week's red candle. We wanted to have that reversal last week, but we didn't. In order to stay green or to close green, we need to be 94.1, and now 94.1 is it seems far away, doesn't it? Sentimentally, anyway, it seems far away, seeing as though we're down here grasping at the. Did we get the 3? Oh yeah. So this is not to toot my own horn or anything. This is a very common pattern. The 3 dead shoulders, the 3 dead soldiers. The 3 red candles on the daily usually gets a pump, and then we put in another lower low, sorry. And that's exactly what we did. We did it back here, 3, then boom, 3, then boom. Now, it is pretty important to keep over resistance here at this 90K level. It's also psychological level, right? 90K back into the 80s. You can see people would start panicking and the sentiment would just go way down to the point where people were like the average normie is out. Whatever retail, I'm going to stop talking about retail FOMO because I just don't think it's here anymore. The concept of people, putting money into a $100,000 asset that they don't know. Now, it's different if you know it. If you know about it, it's a wild deal. Knowing where the price action is going, knowing the value proposition of Bitcoin, getting it at 100 grand is a wild deal when you have a low time horizon like Carl Elder and myself in 2028. But if you don't, if you're just a noob into investing, you're probably going to do fudge packer coin or something like that because it's 0.00001 cent. Oh, that's a lot of value for my dollar. Yeah, I'm going to put $10 in there. You can see how this plays out. Bruce Mai says, I think the other question might be what happens to the price if it doesn't go up after Trump day one? Yeah, that's day one is an interesting aspect, Bruce Mai, because there's a bunch of things. Like, what's going on here with the comments? There we go. Fudge Packer coin, Terry, mint it. Someone mint it. I heard it cost $40 to mint a meme coin. If the day ones don't happen, we'll know right away that nothing's going to happen, essentially. Even the rhetoric, we need, let's say it doesn't happen, but there's tons of rhetoric. That would be to a certain degree. What the hell's going on here? Why doesn't this refresh? That would be to a certain degree enough to keep the bulls and the robot quant bots like chomping at the bit. Well, he talked about it. He talked about it. He talked about it, and that's the only thing that's going to keep that market up. But it to me, January 20th kind of is D-Day for this bull run. Now, of course, the only thing that would happen, this is what keeps me from jumping off the ledge. Even though I'm a round tripper, I'm going to round trip anyway. I'm not selling Bitcoin, so I'm quite prepared for the round trip. But the one thing that keeps me thinking that it's highly unlikely to not see continued upside in 2025 is because it would break the cycle, right? And we always, to a certain degree, maybe the cycle is broken in the aspect that what the hell's going on here? You update things and they go sideways on you. Isn't that always the way with Apple? It's almost like Apple seduces you into updating because you side eye. It's like, oh, would you like to update it? No, I wouldn't. I don't want to. I don't trust you guys. And then it keeps putting it up. Are you sure? You sure you don't want to? I can do it when you're sleeping. You don't even have to worry about it. Like, you go to bed, I'll update. No big deal. And you're like, no, I don't trust you. Everything you guys do when it comes to update, I'll wait till like your 3 updates down the road, and then I'll do it. Are you sure? Because you're sleeping. Oh, okay, fine. Update it. Then goes to shit. And you're like, I knew it. And then Apple's like, well, we warned you. We warned you there might be some downside to it. I don't know why you always update. You shouldn't update on the first one. You should let the bugs. What is it you wanted me to? Anyway, I'm getting on a tangent here. The one thing that I don't want to see, or what keeps me bullish, is that it would break the cycle. Now the cycle, to a certain degree, was broken when we hit all-time highs before the halving, right? So there are some kinks in the cycle armor. Until then, I mean, when you look at historical data, the best thing to do is to see what price action has happened in the past and then extrapolate it out to a certain degree. It's going to have similarities. And until the cycle's broken, well, the cycle works. So being a round tripper, I'm quite prepared to stay on board for it, and I don't really care what happens. Those of Those of you who don't want to be round trippers, I mean, you're going to be in for a very, very stressful couple months. That's why round tripping on a low time horizon is the way to go, isn't it, Duck Duck? You want to come up here? Or what's the story? We can't see you. Don't be afraid, all of us. I just, you got to press it again because I already pressed it. I'll do it. All right, buddy. Well, what are we going to play today? What are we going to play today, buddy? Oh, let's turn this on. Randy Hipper says, sing it, Duke. Shh. Oh, you turned it off again. Okay, go.
I don't know.
What?
I don't know what to
see,
sing.
when you work at a piano bar, you have to break into a song even though you don't know what you're going to play because you can't really have dead air. So you got to let's go break into a song.
The loneliest Lamborghini in the world. I know my life will never be the same. I'll drive the loneliest Lamborghini in the world until the day I die. Until the day I die. There's only so much money in the world. You got to get it. You got to get it while you can. I tried to tell them, but you just can't say mama. Their minds are blown. Their chance is blown.
B flat.
Their chance is blown. 'Cause that's
Chances blown B flat
wrong. That's right.
to A.
I am the loneliest Lamborghini in the world. I know my life will never be the same. I'll drive the loneliest Lamborghini in the world until the day I die. Until the day I die.
Very good. You want to do a quick doodles and we'll get out of here?